Life is a blessing, not curse.
That's so true.
So you must live life, as I told you earlier, and you must live it playfully. Okay, you must, and we have very less time in this life, so you must utilize all the moments in your life, uh, you know, meaningfully and playfully.
What if you turn hardship into greatness, anger into serenity? Everything changes. Make your life a masterpiece. Welcome, I'm Yannick, your host, and now joining me, Dr. Moazzem Hossain. Welcome, Dr. Moazzem Hossein, to the show to really discuss strategy. What does Alexander the Great have to do with strategy? Why is strategy in life, in our personal life, and also in our business life important? And how to build a winning strategy for your personal and your business life. Welcome, Dr. Hossein, to the show. It's such a treat to have you finally back.
Thank you, Mr. Yannick. Um, Alexander the Great, uh, I always try to follow him. It's not only me, the great political and military leaders, uh, past, present, and probably in future, will try to emulate him. And he's the only person in the history whom is being revered by all the religion, all the culture, all the creed, and all the castes. So, but this is his legacy. Uh, Omar bin when Amr bin Alas, who conquered Egypt, it was in the year 642 during the time of Caliph Mamun. At that time, people feared that Alexander tomb at Alexandria will be also destroyed by the Muslims. But to their surprise, Amr bin Alas, he declared that his tomb to be preserved because he is one of the prophet of Islam. He said that there is a prophet named Zulkarnain, so mm, Muslim people also considered him one of the prophet. So this is how his tomb was saved. Okay. Now, the point you have rightly identified that military strategy can be uh, applied to the business and personal life also. And the subject MBA, Masters in Business Administration, is borrowed from army. And to be specific, it is borrowed from the German army, and the German army is famous for their general staff branch, and it is to be specific, borrowed from German GS staff branch. And till that, even German government is following in their public domain the general staff branches these policies. Though those are applicable for military, but now they are using it for their public business and other enterprises also. And during the Operation Desert Storm 1, the uh, main planner, Colonel John Warden, who was a Air Force colonel, and he gave the plan, this five rings model, and according to his plan, this war was fought. And after retiring, he wrote books on business strategies, and those books are very famous also. And Lieutenant General William Gus Pagonis, who was the commander of the 22nd subcom, he was the main man to provide all logistics supports to this Gulf War. And after retiring, he also wrote books and became the head of logistics of a very prominent business ventures. So we can go on this. There are many military leaders. They excel in writing and also implementing business strategy. And you know, while studying MBA, I find that they are using all our military strategy, tactics, type of attacks to formulate their business strategy. We are taught in our military attack, envelopment, double envelopment, bypass, pursuit, holding attack, all types of attack is being taught to formulate the business strategy or any marketing strategy. And nowadays you will find it is not a fashion, but you will see that now everybody is naming their branches of their organization, especially business entities, that marketing operation, this operation, that operation. Those operation is really applicable to the military or armed forces, but now business people, then they are also taking this culture in their organization. You know, Alexander the Great's art of strategy is definitely exhaustively studied and followed by the business planner to formulate a business strategy. I will refer you one book. It is written by Partho Bose. Book name is Alexander the Great's Art of Strategy, the timeless lesson of history's greatest empire builder. Uh, that is mainly focused on adapting his military strategy to business strategy, uh, where they have studied his military strategy exhaustively, and they have also incorporated those in their organizations. Now, you might ask why Alexander? Okay. You all know about Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. These three, they are disabled in the sequence. But before they become philosophers, they all are soldiers. Okay. Uh, Socrates served in the military in the heavy infantry, where you need more physical strength. And he also served in war. That is a famous Greek war that is called the Peloponnesian War. In two times he served in 432 BC and 424 BC. And during the siege of Potidaya, he displayed outstanding bravery and courage, and he also saved the life of Xenophon. Xenophon is another strategist and also philosopher, and a management guru Peter Drucker, he said to study Xenophon. You see, all these are coming. These philosopher, these, as I said, you that Peter Drucker is the management guru. He's recommending Xenophon, whom was saved by the Socrates. You know,
What is the definition of strategy according to Alexander the Great? Let's just start with the definition. Simple definition of strategy.
Alexander didn't give any definition of any strategy. Rather, people studied him and found out the various strategy. I'm coming to you the point that what he in fact you need to know his life a bit. It will be not more than 1 or 2 minutes. Then you will understand how he is being taught all these by the great philosophers. In
Amazing.
fact,
And I love also what you're saying. You give us context, right? But I also just kind of quickly sharing what I kind of feel is like in military, it's all the more important to cut down the complexity into simplicity because you have to, it's all about life or death, right? And therefore, you have to make it as straightforward as possible in order for you to succeed. And that's really staying alive. So please
okay,
keep going.
I'm coming to that point. In fact, Alexander was taught by the Aristotle. Alexander's father, Philip of Macedon, he established this institution of military and cultural learning at Mirzab, that is outside of the capital of Pella of Macedon, where Alexander the Great and along with his companions were taught all subject matters. Because all these companions, Alexander, Aristotle, what he first developed them that homogeneity of mind. You know, these people later on when they were in the campaign, they knew each other body language even. So now you are coming to the point of what Alex. In fact, they were taught philosophy, history, geography, biology, zoology, almost all the discipline. But the point you are now asking that what was the strategy? You see, Aristotle trained them mainly. Uh, he trained their mind to think. Remember, first lesson learned. Then collaborative approach. Then doctrine of mean. Then virtue of practice. Then culture of accommodativeness to accept the criticism. Then art of asking good questions and decision making basing on intuitions. Uh, These were the uh, uh, main this outcome in a gist. But he was also taught these military strategy, tactics, and everything which he also knew. In fact, as I told you that he built the rock solid homogeneity among them, and in the same token, before the World War II, under the tutelage of George Marshall, 170 military leaders were taught in this. Uh, there is a military institute at Fort Benning. They are all of them were taught under the tutelage of George C. Marshall, and uh, many of them are there. But famous was this Eisenhower or Walter Bradley Smith, and there were many. And you see that they studied Alexander, that how he launched his campaign, and by studying him, the Americans, they also incorporate the same strategy to conduct to train their future military leaders who took part in the war in the Second uh, World War. Now, as you said that now you are talking about strategy. In fact, Alexander didn't define any strategy. He uh, he himself displayed displayed his actions, and basing on that, he said that Clausewitz and others they have formulated that he used this strategy. In fact, he also displayed like the indirect approach. You said, but this is one of the famous dictum in military. He was very much efficient in using this, and it is not only in business. It is not only in military. It is being also being used in the business and also at political level also. In China, Mao Zedong or Mao Zedong, he adopted this indirect approach. His battle cry was "This is we to save Jahu." In fact, that was the indirect approach uh, that was formulated by the descendant of Sanju, Sanwin. So, the military strategy is being used, and now also in the past by military leaders, definitely also business and political leaders. So, they, if you are talking about the now you can stop, because I was just taking preparation that you said that the single most objective of any business to maintain the what is the single most objective of any business. Should I answer this?
Yeah, we can just, quickly go, and I just ask you, why do you think that so many businesses adopted this way of thinking and strategy from the military? Why is that? What do you think is it?
You know, just I tell you one thing. Maybe 10, 15 years back, Indian Army, Indian cricket team were sent to their commando training center. Do you know why? Because they are they need to have the tenacity. That's why they were sent there. And military strategy is tested. And battlefield or battleground is the right place to test the strategy. So, what the strategy they have used and those are tested. So, these business people are using those tested strategy. Because in MBA, there is a book, Strategic Management, big book. So while studying this book, I find there are a lot of quotes, but those are, but I find that these people they miss the point, because in military there are, we talk tactics. There is a level of tactics. There is a tactical level, operational level, then strategic level. But in business, they directly go to this strategic management. So in army, in any army, these are taught exhaustively, and these are also tested in the battlefield, and the battlefield is the question of life and death. So that's why, to me, that business leaders, they are this not only business leader, many political leaders also, they adopted the military strategy.
How do you
All
define the decisive point in business and in the military?
And before that, one thing I must clear you, that why I was talking about Alexander the Great. That uh, in fact he wanted to conquer the world. Okay, and yeah, he has in mind to create a global world, and his synthesis was culture, multiculturalism, and he wanted to create a world in harmony with diversity. So now, in fact, you asked me about decisive point. In fact, you need to know about three of this point: this decision point, decisive point, then culmination point. Okay, these three are interrelated. Okay, then these culminating points, as you said, you asked this Clausewitz and Jomini. They espouse this idea, and later on, all the armies they have adopted this strategy. I'm not going to the military terms. Culminating point is the elasticity. It is the last point of elasticity, that last point of your strength to succeed. If you extend it, then uh, you are going to fail. So at that point of time, that means you are exhausted. So you need to regroup. So all the business planner or all military strategies, they need to find out their culmination point. What is the then they need to define their culmination point. Okay, I'm telling you in a simple language. I am not using those military terminology. In fact, it is this culmination point is taught widely, and Dr. Milan Vegov is the he wrote exhaustively about this. Then comes decisive point. Decisive point, decisive point is a point in time and space. At that time, if you act decisively, then you can reach to the center of gravity of the enemy. So you can defeat him. So in business also, you need to take this decisive decision at some point, so you can reach to your goal. And decision point is the point that if you take, you need to take some decision that will have some influence on course of action. Okay. So you see, for any business venture or for anything, you need to have this synchronization of efforts of all three. So it is the leader's ability or capability how he finds out these points, and this cannot be instilled on someone by through some method. Only it is your ingenuity after the deliberate study or practice, you can attain these qualities. And above all, it is you. This is the charisma of leader that when to uh, take decision and what decision at these points. Okay.
Where do you start to find your decisive point, specifically in business? Where do you start? Is it your value system? Is it your products? What is it? What is the blueprint to really find?
Decisive point doesn't relate with your value or product or anything. What this thing. In fact, decisive point in business, once you start any business, you have certain focus that you will, here first one thing, first is aim. You select your aim that you want to grow up to this or that. And also select the aim. It is said that it has to be pursued tenaciously. Aim must not be changed prematurely. And to attain the aim, you have certain objectives. Okay. So, in your organization, you first set the aim, then objectives. These objectives are the means to reach to your aim or goal. Excuse me. So, you know, uh, once you want to attain these objectives, you might have certain hurdles. Okay. So, if you are in a business, you must have contingency plan. You must have a contingency plan, or then you must foresee at least minimum 20 scenarios that that you will be facing difficulties to attain your objectives. So then you need to do the wargaming. Okay. So if you tell me that as a business leader, I would have number of at least minimum 20 scenario on my to attain my objectives and to fulfill my aim. And maybe this 20, if we have exhaustive brain study and brainstorming with my people, then definitely this 20 is going to serve the purpose, but in all cases may not be. But if we practice this 20 these contingencies, then as you said, if some situation arises, COVID-like situation, as I said earlier, that black swan movement, randomness, chaos, or disorder, at that time, there you need this that is the decisive point for any critical scenario. So at that time, as a leader, then in this decisive point, I will definitely give decision or take action by uh, combination of all of this. Okay, because at
Yeah,
that time, if I cannot take that decisive at this decisive moment, if I cannot give decision, and remember one thing: once a leader give decisions, and if everybody follows, definitely they are going to get success. May not be 100% correct, but they will not lose. Okay.
yeah. So it's really first and foremost you have to define actually how success looks like. And by really defining a goal, then you lay out your objectives in order to reach this goal. And then these objectives help you to ultimately develop a contingency plan. In other words, how to address the struggles, the obstacles that you might face in order for you to succeed despite the struggles that you go through inevitably, right? That's like war. You always go through a situation where that you cannot anticipate, right? And that's basically the strategy, right? The strategy is to anticipate as well as possible the unanticip the things that you can't anticipate. Do you think that is an accurate description of what really a strategy ought to do?
Definitely, all the military leaders, all leaders, they must do it because what do you do? Uh, uh, they we must when any plan is being formulated, before that exhaustive study is done. That what might be the alternatives, what scenario might come. So you know that you in more appropriately you can say that forecast that what are the things may come. So for not only military, for anything, if you want to start any business, definitely we will think at 20 years ahead that what might come. Then basing on this, if you have brainstorming session with your own people, you can find that of what might be the hurdles, what are the few possibilities you have. I'm talking about the success rate, or how you can do the marketing and everything. There has to be comprehensive plan uh, basing on unforeseen scenarios so that you are not caught unaware. So it is being done for any organization. It is being done exhaustively, and you might tell it a strategy. No, it is common to all because we say contingency, and now they say war gaming. Now these civilians are also doing the war gaming in their business to formulate their business strategy. So this is nothing but you remain, you know, you have selected your aim, objectives in such a way that uh, you have not overlooked any points, or you have not missed any points. Even then, you will the things are not as a straight line, or it is not uh, too linear. There will be ups and downs. As you know that the COVID situation, there will be some disruption. But if you are prepared with this, and those are, uh, uh, have this contingency, and those are also exercised sometimes, then you will see that you will not be caught unaware. You can fare through any trouble. And these are tested of whatever I told you.
What's the role of leadership in building a successful strategy?
Leadership, the leadership, he gives his vision and guidelines. Okay. And the for business, these once leader, in fact, he from his own or from his own experience, he decides that he thinks definitely leader he thinks ahead, and then he uh, uh, gives out his strategy. And here one thing, once he gives the strategy, and it becomes very difficult task for him to transmit this strategy in terms of vision and mission to his undercommons. So definitely leadership he will formulate the strategy and also mission vision, and the difficult task for him is to transmit those to his people and implement it on ground.
Why do you think this is so difficult for a leader to ensure that strategy is implemented effectively and efficiently?
You are dealing with man, not machine. So man is the complicated machine. So in military, we are taught first and foremost principle, and I also believe in it. This is the principle. If it follows, then any leader will become successful. That is the know your man. There are many leadership principle, but this is the I must and this is the only principle. If any leader follows, he will be successful, because once know your man means you know his personal life also. You know everything of him. Because if I know Mr. Yannick, I know that he has a girlfriend and they now they are having these difficulties, this, that, or this. Then I can, uh, before tasking him for something, then as a leader, I will think that this is not the right time for him to do this. But it is in a layman language. But as a leader, if you know your man and if you know their strength and weakness, this is the only job of leader, just to arrange it and use your instruments. That means your not machine, that man in a way so that they can be maximum productive. Okay.
What are the attributes that a leader has to bring to the table in order to influence and make his men do the things that they are supposed to do? As you say, you are dealing with man, which is really, really difficult. So, therefore, you have to know thyself, but also know your man, right? So, what are some of the most important attributes that a leader needs to have in order to implement it?
First, you know that leader knowledge is the first and foremost requirement that has to be there. Then courage is has to be there, and also that leader must have the tenacity. Then he there are leadership traits. It is almost 10 to 11. All these leadership traits a leader must possess, like humility, moral. Then he must have the flexibility of mind. Okay. Then to me, uh, I told you that leader must be, to me, he must be first knowledgeable, and he knows his task, what he is going to do, and he must have the clarity of his purpose. He must be focused uh, what he is going to do. So, if you have the clarity of perception, what you are going to do as a leader, this is the first and foremost requirement. Then, if you know your path, then you can formulate the strategy. And as you said that now you have people under you, and you know X can do this, Y can do this. Okay. Now you said the important point that how you can instill them. Okay. And there is a this is common saying that leading by example. Okay. And another thing, leader must have the integrity and honesty. If you are, if you have this, and if you are impartial, and if you have the element of justice, you will become successful. Because all your people will follow you. And leading by example, that if you what I used to do, that I used to remain with my people. uh, it's not that I don't trust them, or I don't believe that they can do it. I know, because once I give someone some task, definitely I know that I also give him the means, so that he can achieve the end. And as a leader, I can foresee where he can falter. But I told you, as a all military leaders and all good leaders, they always remain connected with their undercommands. So if any leader want to be successful or instill his ideas, uh, it cannot be instilled in one day, but minimum it needs 6 months to 1 year. You can change the culture of any organization, or you can instill your ideas to your undercommands, because you need tenacity to follow up all this. And from my personal life, I've seen that it acts within short span of time, within on there is always resistance to change. So people might not accept any change or anything. So as a leader, you need to influence people, make them understand. And last but not the least, it is the battle of wits. Because so if you have the dialectic culture in your organization, definitely your people will ask you a lot of questions. If you can convince them, definitely they are going to follow you. So, one thing that is certain, as a leader, you must know that your follower, your undercommand is following you, so they know exactly what you are. So, if they know that you are really well founded on the knowledge, on your task, on your leadership, then definitely there is no point of you know uh, thinking negative that you people will not follow you. You can they will follow you, and you can rejoin at your organization.
How does a leader keep his focus and clarity while dealing with competing faction within an organization? How do you do that? Step one, two, and three.
Okay. Uh, uh, that is the maintain harmony. You are talking that how to maintain harmony in the organization.
Exactly, because sometimes the
Yeah.
leader he has, as you just laid out, it's very important. He has to nurture his man, right? He has to know his man, but also at the same time, he has to keep the focus and clarity of the strategy, of the vision, of the goal, right? That you so nicely laid out. And therefore, he also at the same time has to deal with at times competing forces within his organization. So, how does he do juggling this, keeping the focus, but also at the same time keeping his man engaged, in harmony with one another, and also lastly, how to actually deal with competing narratives, competing factions within an organization, because as you said, man is very complicated, right? So how do you do that?
These are very simple. I'm telling. I'm telling you from my uh, own service life. Though I will just give you an example of one. I was Dean Faculty of Business Studies in Bangladesh University of Professionals. I had under six departments. So once I joined, these business faculties, these are, interrelated. I find that all the departments are isolated. So uh, it took 1 year for me to bring all of them in the same platform. It is me. I formulated this idea. I had been telling them that the subject in marketing department, this subject is taught. Management department, this subject. Those are interchangeable, and we made our faculty as a team. And for doing this, uh, I had to be persuasive and I had to be tenacious so that and each week I used to conduct one meeting with all the faculties uh, so that they all are united and at the end of 1 year they all found that this business faculty is united together. Now I'm coming to your point, that is the harmony. Harmony is a way of life and can be uh, achieved, if people are aware about it. If you are not aware about the harmony or this way of life, and so uh, this cannot be implemented in your personal life or in your organization. So, as a leader, if you select the strategy that there has to be the culture of harmony in your organizations and how you are going to achieve it, if you transmit and practice in your organization, definitely it is going to have impact. And I can assure you, it will not take more than 1 year to set up this organizational culture of harmony. You can hire me for any organization. I will ensure and implement it. Now, c- uh, you know, uh, if you as a leader, you asked me earlier also, first thing is the establish justice. Okay. If you can establish justice uh, in promotion, posting, these facilities and others, then definitely you will achieve harmony, but there will be people, even if you do the justice, they will say that he is not being evaluated properly. So here I will go back to the Koitillo, the you know uh, 4th century, these political and also military thinker. He was the national security advisor of Chandragupta Maurya. In fact, he, along with Chandragupta Maurya, they established this Maurya dynasty. So he established a efficient administration. His administration was survival for the fittest. Okay. So here he, incorporated his incentive policy was reward and punishment. The reward and punishment or incentive policy that was monetary. He used to task someone, this is the task I give you. If you can do within this time, you will get this amount of money as a reward. If you can do in a more less time, then you will get this money. And if you cannot fulfill that time, then you need to pay as a penalty. In fact, why I'm telling you see, money is really a motivating factor. Credit and recognition, these are abstract things. These abstract thing causes disharmony within your organization. Someone is more recognized, someone in the leader is giving more credit to someone. But if we, other than this abstract thing, if things are measured in these money, award, and punishment, everything, then uh, it's in my view that these friction, fog and friction can be reduced. and it is tested because money is really a motivating factor. And even after that, that mm, there will be someone, but in my own experience, I have seen if leader is honest and he just establish justices, that organization succeeds. And if he always remain connected with the with his people and have empathy to all of them, and with this we can achieve harmony in an organization. And more important thing that people needs to be taught what is harmony and how harmony helps to empower everybody. Okay.
Uh, Brilliant. I also think, and let me know what you think, but I think that it's more important the harmony that you create within an organization than what you actually do. In other words, you always should put harmony first. So, what do you think about that? Because it's actually hard. Because you, to some extent, go beyond of what you're actually doing, but you're always contemplating also the intention behind what you're actually doing. And the outcome should always be a great product, but also at the same time, a great harmony within the organization that then ultimately extrapolates outside.
Mm. Yeah, you are also right. So, if you can harmonize your organization, you will see that uh, uh, people will have synchronization of efforts in a synergistic whole. They will not have a lot of, heart burning or backbiting or any other thing. So, harmony is asset for any organization. And as a leader, one must strive to achieve harmony in his or her organization.
And
Yeah.
also, I think, according to you, let me know what you think. Do you think harmony is kind of the precursor for success in the sense that harmony is really the blueprint of infusing people with playfulness because you are an advocate of playfulness. So tell me the relationship between creating harmony within an organization, but at the same time keeping alive this playfulness, this engagement with each other, this dialectic but also dialogic approach in order for us to elevate our products but also our relationships in between us.
You know, your first point was correct. If you do not have playfulness, you will not achieve harmony. So, playfulness and harmony is complementary to each other. How can you achieve harmony if you do not have playfulness uh, in you? These.
Just quickly unpack for us what you mean by playfulness, because I think a lot of viewers and listeners don't really know what we mean by playfulness. So first and foremost, unpack what playfulness actually means.
Playfulness in layman language, you see that this our child, as a child, if you can laugh without thinking anything, you forget of also everything. So that is the level of playfulness. Uh, suppose you are watching a football match. You are seeing that some of the famous scorer he has scored a goal, and you are just jumping and shouting goal. This is the ultimate level of playfulness. That if you can achieve the playfulness, you forget everything. So always, uh, 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 this has to be also taught people that if you can attain this playfulness, you will not have any difficulties to face any situation in your life. I You will definitely you will face lot of difficulties, but if you have this playfulness, you will see you will not harm inward. You will not harm yourself. You can face everything playfully and also achieve harmony.
Do you think playfulness is basically a recipe for you ending suffering?
Of course, because if you have the playfulness, you will not have a lot of disease. I can tell you. At least you will not have. Uh, I cannot just tell you the number, but you will have minimum of disease if you have the playfulness. But the bare minimum disease, there might be some bacteria, virus, this, that. But if you have the playfulness, hopefully you will not have the bare minimum disease, or you will not have any disease, be it physical or mental, if you can attain this playfulness.
And I think this is partly why you keep playing golf and you are playing actually golf extremely successful. So, what does golf do in your personal life, but especially in terms of who you are and your quality of life?
Golf, differs man to man. In fact, golf teaches you the this honesty, integrity, and also discipline. Okay, because you are playing alone, you are playing with yourself. And for me, I play golf every day just to relax. Okay, not only relax, you can say that to achieve the playfulness and also harmony with the nature. So once I work for 3 hours in this green, it really energizes me. I see a lot of insects, trees, birds, everything, and I play. In fact, these 3 hours really remain involved with nature, and I play. So, um, at the end of the day, I just totally get energized, and uh, that is the reason I play golf. This is the lesson for me. Okay.
How do you incorporate playfulness in a strategy, whether it's military or business or life strategy? How do you integrate, infuse playfulness into it?
It is a individual style. So I interact with everybody from lowest level to top level. So I there are people that there's some leader they think that as a senior leader you must not go below this level, this that. I don't accept those things. So I interact with all. And I interact with their terms. So I give them a feelings of the fear-free lifestyle. If you can eliminate fear in your under commands, in your people, you will see that they will be tremendously productive and they will attain this playfulness. To attain playfulness, first and foremost requirement is to shun this fear. So wherever I worked, I tell my people, if you cannot do this, then what is going to happen? Because for this, uh, uh, you know, I tell them definitely you will try. There is a saying that you must not fail to try, but uh, uh, you must try and fail. Doesn't matter. So you tried and eliminate fear. You will achieve the playfulness.
Do you think fear is also the reason for procrastination? In other words, procrastination really
Yeah,
is
I
an
heard this.
underlying fear that we have in order to not to fail.
These are the new word I saw. It is running in the social media, and the people are talking about this. And fear is coming from your leader, okay, in your organization. And I told you some other day the megalothymotic leader. that I am the boss, that really generates fear amongst his undercommons. So there, it varies leader to leader how you will, whether you will generate fear or you will generate playfulness. It depends, because if you have this megalothymotic attitude, then that organization will not grow. Definitely, that can work. That under command they can work, but they will not have playfulness and they will not do things from their heart. So, uh, to me, if you can eliminate fear, and it is nothing to a leader. If you give people, if I have seen in my throughout my 36 years of service life, I worked. People say that someone is trouble people, but they never give me trouble. Because why they will give me trouble? Because he knows what is his job, what is his task, why he will not do that. I never had to bully people. So, but if they can work with me or work with X, work with Z, why they cannot uh, work with others? Yeah, there are people. I also worked under very tough commander. They used to come in the morning and used to leave office at uh, uh, morning 5 o'clock. Okay, so we worked with these people. But in this situation, what I did, I evolved my own system because he might be mad, and I cannot be mad. Okay, so because so long I know that if I told you that you will give your maximum, whether your leader he appreciates you or not doesn't matter, because you are satisfied that you have given your maximum. So you have been asking me continuously that how to achieve playfulness, that is eliminate fear. Then you can achieve the playfulness in your own organization, and these are tested. I have tested in my personal life. Okay, and as a leader, you must um, shun the false vanity. Okay, that that is also detrimental to achieve playfulness or harmony in organization. You must be you must be also playful with. You must achieve playfulness first, then you can transmit to your people.
So now your first advice to help your man become fearless is what? What is the most and most important action that the leader can take in order to make his man fearless?
You know, we always live in fear. You know, if you have 100 men, or you try to know as much people as you can, but there are different tier of leaders. So as a top leader, uh, you cannot go down below, but you make a system that your orders are passed or transmitted uh, to the below without ambiguity, with clarity. Okay. Now, uh, if you will have lot of dialectic session with your people, and this is must, and it should be formal, informal, or anytime you are. So at that time, if you tell them that these are very simple thing, I can tell you that first principle is that if you can tell your people that if you cannot do anything, just tell clearly that I have some difficulties, I cannot do this thing.
Honesty, very good. Yeah,
Yeah.
honesty.
So for this, you will not be penalized for this thing. In fact, it is your ingenuity how you create this environment. And you can understand if everybody comes to you. For everybody comes to you candidly. That, sir, I have these difficulties, I have this. Uh, b- uh, the- these are the barometer. You can test it. That if uh, junior most person can come to you, and if he comes to you to tell you certain ideas or to tell you his difficulties or anything, then you can measure that you have created a organization where there is no fear. Okay.
So basically a measure of your leadership success is actually trust. The trust that you build in other people's to actually
Exactly.
ask you.
You have told the right points. Trust is the first and foremost thing between leader and that. If anyone breaches the trust, then both of them are gone. Okay. Leader also gone, lady is also gone. So, this is the parameter of relationship between leader and lead. This is trust that your people will not deceive you. If you know that if he cannot do things, you will say that I cannot do things, or you make such congenial or harmonious atmosphere in your organization. If X cannot do, automatically Y will do it, and you can generate. You can achieve this if you have generated an environment of uh, uh, playfulness and fair free environment. People mm, doesn't sometimes need many things. Only simple empathy is motivated people more than anything. At least if you ask someone how are you, that becomes a very motivating factor for them, or very energizing factor for people. I've seen in my personal life also, in my service life. So it is the ingenuity of leader that how and things are not that difficult. There is no rocket science. Okay, and regarding playfulness, I referred you about this Krishna and his life, and one of our poet, his famous poet, we call him rebel poet. He wrote in Bengali, "আমি জাহান্নামেও বসিয়া হাসি পুষ্পের হাসি." That means I love the laugh of flower in the hell. Okay, you see, since I am translating it from Bengali, that আমি জাহান্নামেও বসিয়া হাসি পুষ্পের হাসি, that I laugh the laugh of flower, means full flower, uh, by sitting in the hell. That means, you see, someone is sitting in the hell and he is giving the laugh of a flower. So, not as a leader, everyone should everyone must achieve this type of, uh, you know, uh, fear-free life. That is the main first precondition to achieve uh, playfulness.
And I also want to ask you actually, and that's Carl Jung actually who said that we can only know what's good if we also know the bad. In other words, we only know light when there is darkness, and darkness when there is light, and therefore it's a constant interplay of, as you say brilliantly, really the playfulness, right? Because the beauty of life or the fortune that we have, we only recognize it truly, truly once we lose it.
Okay, thank you. Excuse me. You know, most of us consider life is a curse, not blessings. But
Not me!
remember, life is a blessings, not curse.
So true.
So you must live life, as I told you earlier, and you must live it playfully. Okay, you must, and we have very less time in this life, so you must utilize all the moments in your life, meaningfully and playfully. So if you have this thing in mind, you will see that you will, as this poet said, that he can give love of a flower while sitting in the hill. Hill is the, the most point for anyone. You should conduct your life like that. Even if you go to the hill, there you laugh and enjoy. Okay, achieve the joy and blissfulness. Everyone should strive for this.
Now, for our listeners and viewers, how can they start implementing or foster, develop a way of playfulness that is truly life giving and that they really accelerates their own strategy in life, but also their own gift and blessing in life? What's the first tip that you will give?
In fact, there has to be some interactive session with these people to teach them this thing. Okay, these in our life or in your practical life, you see many things. So we measure things in terms of facilities, these, that. So this is also a learning process. Okay, if you want to answer me in one question, it is very difficult to answer, but I can tell this much that if you want to have playfulness, then first and foremost thing that from today you forget fear and go to the nature. You see the natural world, how it moves, and there you will have if you are onlooker of the nature or if you go there, definitely you even if you do not know anything, just go to the nature, sit there for sometimes. Okay, you will see that you are gaining something, some serenity or something. That is the beginning point, and then this is really very initially, if you are not taught that you need to achieve playfulness and what is playfulness and how you can achieve it, it is very difficult because most of our people that you see that we compare. He has got this, he has got this, I do not have this, he becomes this, he becomes this, I am here. So these are very complicated things where you need to have interactive session and have, these systematic learning in sequence. And it doesn't take much time. Then you realize, then I believe once you realize and if you practice at one point of time, you will have to resort to this playfulness. uh, you will give up many things. You will not have lot of disease. You will not have lot of psychiatric or physical, mental, anything. So yeah, one needs to learn this technique.
It's so true, and that's also what Carl Jung actually says. In order to be transformed, especially when it comes to fear, you first and foremost you have to actually confess that there is such a thing as fear. Then you have to be able to explain it to yourself, and then you have to educate yourself, developing the tools within, right, to actually address it, and then ultimately you are ready to really face it, and then you are also much more likely that there is a chemical reaction that transforms you into a new, different meaning, and that's a whole process. And therefore, I would always say that life is a process. The goal is the journey. It's never the end, right? Again, and also when there is death is just a transformation of energy, because everything is energy, right, in our life. So to change the way we look at reality is also very important. And I truly agree what you were just saying. And actually, the next episode we will actually do a live stream, so people can actually also ask you
Yeah,
questions, and then we
people
can
can
really
ask me
walk through
question.
it. And this is brilliant, and we will really leave it at that, and we will continue this journey with you, Dr. Hossein, Moazzem Hossein, to really continue this journey, because you are really one of the prime leaders in the world when it comes to really harmony in diversity, and that's really the goal. So I think we answered the question how to develop and forge a strategy in order to live a better life, but also to run a better business and a more fruitful life as a whole.
Okay, here one thing I must tell you that uh, I told you that I am onlooker of the nature. I look for every solution in the nature. Okay, so as a leader, you must have the ants uh, policy. Ant, what they do? They preserve things, and they can anticipate that there is a deluge or any natural calamities. So you need to have these antennas of ant, and also the strategy how they are preventing it. Okay, then heron or these cranes. Have you ever seen how they hunt once they go for hunting any fish? I have seen, they. I have seen how meditative they are. I've been playing golf in our the number one golf club in our country, and in T number 13, we are four player. We had been playing a tournament, and 4 KD there was 8 person, and just in front of the tee, just within 2 to 3 meter, there was a heron, and he was in hunting some insects, and he was unaware about whole environment. So meditative, so cool, so focused. So uh, if you want to have, and he, we are 8 person, and we had been, because I didn't play the ball because I know he was just in front of me. So uh, uh, you see, he's so calm, so cool, but and so meditative, so focused. But once he catches the prey, and that time he has so agility and with his feet. So there are many things in the nature. If you can have this ant strategy and heron strategy, if you uh, study it by yourself, you see you can attain success. So you need not to go to many. Okay.
Dr. Moazzem Hossein, thank you so much for being a blessing to me and really the world. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. Thank you. So
Dr. Moazzem Hossein. That's why knowledge matters. Make your life a masterpiece. Visit now programs.the-ykm.com. Meant to